of books that we find out there about transgender individuals, not just for teens and adults who are transitioning, but also for children. And that brings me to the next point because, unbeknownst to probably everybody, I started writing children's books last year, the year before that, when my father passed away, my stepdad passed away. And it was therapeutic at the time, and so I think it's time to pick the pen back up and start writing again. And in doing that, we will probably write. I'm really thinking that I want to write a book called "Call Me Cleo," and I think it's going to be about a lion who is transgender and comes out as a lioness. But that's just me. I haven't written it. And obviously, it'll be a kid's book, but still, it's a cute idea. I like it. I'm not going there. Shameless self-plug. Anyway, so we've got romantic comedies. We've got romantic, transgender romance novels, a.k.a. transgender smut, which is the same as cisgender smut. And, again, the thing that gets me all the time is that, people are no different. Again, that human rights versus transgender rights, it really, really irks me that we have to say, hey, look, I deserve my rights too. I went to the gym today, and I walked into the men's locker room, and it was a busier time of day that I went. I went right after work, and nobody stopped me. Nobody said, hey, look, you don't belong here. I got some sideways glances because you can't exercise in a binder. And I did strap the tatas down. They were double packed, and they still presented themselves because, well, I'm a big person. The double mastectomy can't come fast enough. But it was like people were looking at me and like kind of like staring as I walked through the locker room, and I was waiting for someone to go, you're in the wrong locker room, because I was prepped to go, no, I'm in the guys' locker room, that's where I belong. And like I said, nobody did. But I shouldn't have to, be prepped for that. No guy, no born male, cisgender individual would ever go into a men's locker room and have to worry about somebody going, hey, you don't belong here. And the same thing goes true for a woman's locker room. A transgender woman shouldn't have to worry about whether someone's looking at them weird, or it's just, I guess the thing that I'm looking for is that in places like that where it's primarily adult, it should just be, why can't it just be co-ed locker rooms? Why does there have to be a men's versus a woman's? Why does it have to be, this way or that way? And it kind of goes the same thing as, sports or anything else. If you want to, have this hissy fit about transgender behaviors, then it needs to be, one or the other. Oy vey. Alright. So like I was saying, that's that whole them versus us, not them versus us. It's not an us versus them thing. But human rights versus trans rights, why does there need to be differences? Why can't we be seen for who we are is a completely different podcast, and one that I definitely don't want to do solo. So I want to go back into this, like I said, this romance thing, this self thing. And I go back to what my mentor said. My friend, like I said, we're going to call her Betsy. If you can't find it within, you'll never find it without. And that holds true for self-affirmation. And we've talked about self-affirmation before. Loving yourself, accepting yourself. And the thing of it is, and the beautiful thing about this is that as a transgender individual, one, we beat ourselves up horribly. We are our own worst critics. It's just the way that everybody is. But we especially, we have this unique perspective because we have put ourselves out there in front of the entire world. We defy a stereotype that says just because a doctor looks at your genitals and says, you're a girl, you're a boy, we come out and go, I beg to differ. No. And we become comfortable in our skin. We are willing to step out past that social norm and go, this is who I am. I'm not, I understand that that's who that's what my genitals say, that my genitals says this is sex and that's fine. But my gender, that's me. And so in order to do that, there has to be a smidgen of self-affirmation. There has to be a smidgen of self-love. Because if you don't love yourself, then you wouldn't care. And the reason why I say this, and the reason why I'm hoping that this gets through to people, is because there are a lot of people in our community who struggle with the idea of love, being loved. Again, I don't want to say this because I have no frame of reference. I have not dated since coming out as transgender. I do have a crush, and he knows it as well as I do, and it's not plutonic, but it is what it is. It can't go any further in its current state, and that may help a little bit. But the thing of it is that even as I came out as transgender, he was still like, hey, I still care. I still love you the way you are. You are still awesome. Again, but we like each other for our minds, not our bodies, not our bits and pieces. And the thing, and I would truly hope that anybody and everybody would find that type of blissful relationship, because I truly believe that that's what that is. It's a blissful relationship. But I don't want people to think that, just because you're transgender that you can't find love, or that it's not worth looking for, or that you have to stay inside the LGBTQ community, because you don't. As a transgender individual, you are capable of finding love anywhere. It does start within, though. If you don't love yourself and you don't take pride in yourself and you don't appreciate yourself, you can't expect that from someone else. They're just not going to give it to you. Nobody, that's like a person who walks around who's obese and says, I'm fat, I'm ugly. Dogs. So, yeah, I mean, and this isn't just for transgender people, because I do know that we do have cisgender listeners, and the same thing holds true. You have to love yourself before you can expect other people to love you. You can't, down yourself, because then you start to believe it. Now, that's not to say you can't walk down the street strutting yourself like a peacock going, I am awesome, I am the it, and, no. Be confident, but don't be that confident. Don't be cocky. But like I said, I laugh about it because, I think I have this great sense of humor. My dogs are weird. I think I have a great sense of humor. I think I have a great sense of loyalty. I love, my photography. I love doing these podcasts. I love my job. I love my kids. I like my dogs, but did you know what I mean? I mean, does my body nude work? Oh my God, whose doesn't, right? Even a supermodel will look at themselves every so often and go, I can't believe I look like that, or oh my God, I put on that ounce. Bodybuilders, The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson is a prime example of this. This man works out hours every day to keep that shape. Now, he loves it, but he knows full well that a machine has to be, maintained. It has to be worked. Otherwise, it doesn't. That's not to say that he doesn't find, himself attractive or think that he's good looking. But in the same breath, he knows that there's always room for modification. There's always room for improvement. And that holds true, like, with everybody. Anybody who doesn't, find a need to self-improve is just kind of, I want to say, like, deluding themselves. But if you don't learn something every day, then there's something wrong. If you don't strive to better yourself every single day, then you just kind of start to lose yourself. So, my question is for you is, what are you doing to love yourself? Are you taking time out? Are you meditating? Are you, spending that lunch break, actually spending your lunch eating, doing things that you like, your breaks, right? Because we talked about this before. If you were to burn yourself out at work, or if you were to, get hurt on the job, or God forbid, get into an accident on your way to work will replace you in 10 hot minutes, right? Maybe not so much now. It might take 15 or 20 with our economy the way it is. But the fact of the matter is, they'd replace you in a heartbeat. But your family, your loved ones, they can't replace you. If you burn out, that's you. You're just as important, if not more important, to everyone. You've got to take that time for you. You've got to show yourself love for yourself. You have to. Okay? So, don't work through a break. Take it. It's 10 minutes. I realize that. It's 10, maybe 15. Take it. Go for a walk. Stretch. Take a nice deep breath. Go sit in the car. Go listen to music. You should be listening to this podcast. Any of those things, you know what I mean? Make yourself healthy meals. Heck, if you feel like it, you want to reward yourself, take yourself out for dinner. Watch that movie you like. Buy yourself a new book. It doesn't have to be, and I'm not saying, because there's just people who just went, whoa. I might not have the money to do that. You're absolutely right. I wanted to, kind of spruce up the male wardrobe a little bit. Every once in a while, I just, like to buy something new. I didn't go to, the mall. I didn't go to Hollister. I didn't go to AE or anything like that. I went to the Goodwill. Now, that doesn't mean that, whatever, Goodwill's trash. Yeah, no. That meant that I was financially conscious. I was aware, I did ended up buying American Eagle at the Goodwill, but the thing of it was, I took the time, I went out, I spent something on myself. It didn't break the bank because, again, that's not self-love. You still have to be self-preservation. There still has to be self-preservation. I rewarded myself, or I spoiled myself without harming myself, without destroying my financial stability. You have to love yourself first. Buy yourself flowers, for the love of goodness. You don't want to buy flowers? Okay. Buy yourself a plant. I have plenty. I like my plants. They all have names. Find a time to hang out with a friend. Call a friend. Call a friend who's transgender, who is bumming a little bit. Find somebody to hang out with. There are tons and tons of ways to show a little self-affirmation. You can write yourself love letters. When we were kids, we used to write ourselves letters for the future, And now looking back on me, I wish that, the 20-year-old me would be looking at me going, holy crap. my weight's gone up, my hair's a little bit grayer. But in the same breath,